Hello everyone, welcome back to the almost mythical Ant RC. Yeah, Terry finally got around to editing the video of this, and that just launched the other day, so it seemed a timely thing to kind of keep the ball rolling while we're in the mood. So I'm going to start with this and what I've been doing to it. This of course being my FCX24. The most obvious difference you can tell, let's start with the obvious stuff, is the wheels. It is now running on the RC four-wheel drive scramblers I've had for a long time now. And finally, Inura produced some rims which are portal friendly. I had a lot of trouble putting rims on this truck because they would catch the rim box. The rim box. Ooh, Mrs. Sunday afternoon, have some manners. Catching the portal box, it's almost bad enough. And so these rims, fortunately, they produced these, and I'll put a link to them if you can't find them for some reason. You've got some kind of mental issue or something, you can't find them on their website. I'll put a link down if I can be bothered later on. Here's one of the original tyres, and you can see it's about the same height. Obviously it's much fatter than the tractor tyre that was on there before. Now I do like these tractor tyres, and I've been a bit of a fan of them, and I've been happy enough to stick with them until I could find some rims that suited. I'm not a great fan of 1-inch rims on this truck, and I'm not promising you that these will last a whole bunch of time either. I think they look a little small, quite honestly. Obviously the stock red rims are 1.5 or something, I can't remember, but they're noticeably bigger hole in the tyre. For those of you still running stock tyres, I'm going to make a suggestion. A very clever chap commented on one of the last couple of videos this featured in, and he said, why don't you put the tyres on backwards so the tread is facing in this direction rather than the way they come, which is sort of at the point of the tread's V, in the direction of travel. Have them the other way around, and that means that these lugs, the inverted V, grips onto things a lot better. And that's an extremely cunning idea, and one I'd not thought of, and somewhat ashamed to admit that. So thank you, sir, you're a very clever lad. I will go back and try these. Certainly next time I get to Wales with this rig, I shall go and try her on some rocks with the wheels reversed, so that the treads can get a good chance. In the mud, where you'll see this on the latest video, what really made me change it in the end was the fact that these weren't as good in the mud as I was hoping they were going to be. So again, maybe reversed, they would pull their way through mud a bit better than they did certainly going forwards. I wasn't as blown away with them as I was hoping they were going to be. If they're tractor tyres, you'd think they'd be good in the mud, right? So didn't feel that they were brilliant. So that's what made me think maybe I need, and of course I had the EBGBs about buying something, so this was it. So I bought these rims to put the genie back in its bottle. So I'm going to run it like this for a little while, see if I can get used to the sort of slightly puffed out wheel look, and yeah, there you go. Now I did have other plans for this truck as well. You'll see the scratch built bed on the back, which I've not really finished at all. This is really not in a position to be shown to people yet. It keeps appearing on film. I did paint the boxes in the back because they were just white styrene, and a sand coloured WPL fuel tank there. So I did make some effort to try and get the thing sort of polished up for the video. But yeah, I need to make some more effort with this. What I did have a plan to do with this was to turn it into a Unimog. I'd looked at the Mogrich and I thought, you know what, I bet that bodywork will fit on this. I bought the bed, which is a lovely thing, textured wood and everything. I know I could make that look really nice. I don't like this Power Commander cab on this wheelbase. I find it just preposterously out of proportion. Whereas the Unimog Mogrich thing is right at front. Of course, it's got portals, so Unimogs have portals, so, you know. Oddly enough, the Mogrich doesn't, if I remember rightly. It's got straight axles. go figure. Anyway, even if, whatever, I'm not buying a whole Mogrich kit. And although, having said that, it's not no, I shouldn't, I mustn't, I can't. I've just discovered a hole in my motorbike's radiator today, so there will be no Mogrich buying. Anyway, I had thought about I'll just buy all the bodywork, you know, from FMS, and the only problem with that is they don't sell the transparencies, they don't sell windscreens and glazing. So that kind of put the kibosh on that plan. But I don't know, I might revisit it. If the Mogrich's cab is straight, if the windows are straight, then I can make them out of styrene. But if they've got a curve in them, I can't. So, and I don't want to spend 50 quid getting all these parts shipped over, only to find that I can't do the glazing bit of it. So that's a bit of a thing. So for now, she's staying as a power wagon runt thing. But and I haven't fixed the slop in the drivetrain. That's not, the motor's not turning. There's the motor turning. That's just slop. And that bugs me. Because every time it goes down something, it powers down it and then it rolls. Plunk. And I don't like it. And at this scale, when you're filming close up, it seems to roll quite a long way. It feels like it's a long way. I know the Cross MC8, that's got slop as well, but it's such a big truck that it doesn't seem that big. But this is, it's like, you know, a lot. Anyway, that annoys me. So there you go. But anyway, that's the FMS FCX 24 thing. Yeah, done. Next. Da, 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 da. Oh, look at that. She doesn't even fit on camera. She's so big. And she's so, get out of the way. She's so big. And she's so lovely. Ooh, look at that. So, yes, I'm finished. I've finished the Skyline. She's a bit dusty. Brought her downstairs with the FCX on top, which is not a very clever plan. But yes, I've finished her. Doesn't she look nice? So, what are you looking at here? Let me just remind you all what this is. This is a killer body Nissan Skyline 2000 Turbo GTES, I believe is its full name, or it's a sort of combination of, you just rearrange that lot in different ways. You're bound to hit the right combination. So that's what it is, and it's running on a Schumacher MI5, I believe it to be, racing chassis, kindly donated, held on by magnets and a certain amount of devilment. Just unplug the lights. There it is. Okay. So this was donated by my good friend at work, Martin, and his daughter, Ondine. It's a carbon fibre, purple anodized racing chassis. He donated it to this project, which was very nice of him. And I've had to modify it slightly, at the back especially, very much like the Alpha, you may remember, that I did not too long ago, to relocate the body post arrangement, because there was no good. This lovely shell, you have to build pretty much all of it. You have to pretty much build it. You have to build all the front, all the back, and I didn't really want to have great big body posts poking out, so it's full magnets. I'm not going to be racing this particularly. I don't really want it cartwheeling down the road. The chassis is really nice and doesn't deserve that kind of treatment, and the shell is really nice and likewise. So Killer Body did a great job with this shell. It is available as an RTR in either black or white, I remember. You can save yourself an awful lot of heartache. I mean, I don't know how many bits of Lexan and plastic and so on go to make up the front. Grill arrangement, 20, 25, 30, something like that. These are awfully complicated things to put together, and because you're dealing with Lexan, precision is not particularly high, so it's all a bit kind of there's a bunch of masking tape behind this, duct tape behind all this, keeping it together. Wheel arches you paint up and you cut out and put in, so they're duct taped in as well. Same on the rear. All this is made up and fitted in and taped into the car. Yeah, so it's got door handles and filler caps and windscreen wipers, and it does come with mirrors to go on the bonnet here, but I figured that the first time this thing rolls over, they're going to snap straight off. So I didn't want holes in the Lexan or worse, tears and this kind of thing. So I just left the holes undrilled, so it doesn't have door mirrors on. Well, you know, there are ring mirrors on. Such is life. Very fast and furious. Inside, can you see in there? Maybe hopefully you can. Is Harry Potter sitting there in a standard crawler interior, the kind of cheap interior tray you can buy, and that with a little bit of trimming, judicious trimming, and a lot of beige paint, fits in there pretty damn smartly, I think. And Harry looks about right scale and right size for the car. So that's all come together really nice. Gives it a bit of weight as well. It was sitting on different rims. You may, if you've watched this previous videos to this, and you've seen the reels clip I did of this running, it was on these wheels and tyres, and it isn't anymore. So let me tell you why. These are, forget the tyres, they're just eBay tyres, but the rims are some really, really nice drift rims, bought from Drift Rangie, I think his name is. I'll put the link up below, because you know it's not his fault they don't work too well for me, because I'm not drifting particularly. But it's a great website, great store. He seems a really nice guy, really quick service and everything. So go check him out. From a link in the description. Now these are drift wheels. Now I didn't really understand what drift rims were. Why, you know, I've never had a drift car before, so I didn't realise they were going to be any different to your standard kind of run-of-the-mill ones. What appealed to me is the adjustable offset. You put these together, they're like plastic beadlocks essentially, and you can position the back rim on a series of stepped teeth, I suppose it is, to allow the inside section, the spoked bit, to sit further back or forwards in the rims itself. So this is a front wheel which I had right at the as far forward as it could go, so that pulls the wheel into the car, but the back wheels were quite deep dished. I didn't bring one of those downstairs, with the spokes set quite far back into the wheel. The problem I have is the width of them. You can see how far these rims are sticking out compared to the more standard tyre and wheel and rim combination that's on there, on the car. And although I was quite happy, I was okay with that. It looks a bit bad boy, you know, in keeping with the general look of the car, I suppose. But what it meant was, as soon as I ran the thing and tried to turn it, that the tyre glue just gave up and the tyre started moving about on the rim, because I don't think there's enough tyre in contact with enough of the rim. Unlike a normal wheel and tyre, where obviously the tyre sits within the rim edge and the glue. These aren't glued, by the way. They should be yet, but they're not yet. I slung them on in a hurry to see how they looked. So you can see the idea on these ones that I've got in here. I don't have quite such a dish on here, but at the rear ones are much more dished, much deeper setup. So these ones that are on here are Porsche racing rims, and they come in with a 3mm offset and a 6mm offset. So you buy your 2 3s and 2 6s, just like a 911, you know. So that's what I've put on instead, and they're roughly the same sort of colourway, you know, black and chrome. I really like that to go with the car, given the sort of black and chrome highlights that it has. But these are obviously kind of like a wire mesh effect, rather than the standard spokes. So that's a real shame, you know. I like these, and they were expensive as well. So maybe one day I'll do a drift car or something, I don't know. Drift tyres apparently are hard rubber as well, which obviously weren't going to suit. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked with the car, because I think it's the colour's amazing. the look of it, it's just that kind of Tokyo Drift kind of, you know, souped up Japanese vintage car thing that I really liked. And what am I going to do with it? Well, I don't know. Not a great deal, really. You don't want to spoil it. Don't want to. I mean, it's Lexan, so it'll, you know, take a bit of a beating without the paint coming off. But I don't really want to muck it about too much. I don't want it to be mashed up and generally beaten about too much. So it'll get some kind of playground, you know, car park use with Tell. He's keen to run his Lancia Delta, and I'll run this. It's really fast. Being a racing chassis, it is pretty quick. So, and I'm pretty useless. So that should be a fairly interesting combination. Short-lived, perhaps, but yeah. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I might even have a haircut by the time you see me again. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. This and messing about with the FCX. Not doing a great deal at all of anything, to be fair. It's been cold, it's been miserable. No one can afford the heating, never mind new RC stuff. So I hope you all like this Purple Wonder. You're not going to see too much of it, I'm afraid, but maybe I'll bring it down for the bench videos now and again, let you see it. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for remembering that we're here, and sorry it's been a while. It might be a while again. Yeah, who knows. Anyway, thank you, good night, happy Sunday, have a nice rest of the weekend, and it's Monday tomorrow, but don't let that put you off. Oh, I should say bye as well, shouldn't I? Bye!